Welcome to the Van Ryn Compliance Podcast with Rob and Dawn. We help growing teams reduce risks, build trust, and stay audit ready without the overwhelm.
Hello and welcome back to the Van Ryn Compliance Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dawn.
And Dawn, we have a special episode today, right?
We do.
It's a big week here for the Van Bustericks here, or the Van Ryns, whatever. We've been called both. We want to talk about what sending our son to college means for us this week and what that has taught us about leadership.
Correct. Yes. The big one.
You sound excited. So,
It's very surreal. That's why. Yes.
It's very surreal. It's Ethan is 18 and he is heading off to Baylor up in Waco. And we're very proud of him and very excited. And when we were putting together our podcast script for the week, Dawn and I are like, well, why don't we just have a little more of a personal note, a little more of a personal podcast and really kind of dive into what, the last 18 years has meant to us, but also talk about how has this taught us about leadership, and not just about compliance, but leadership in business and leadership in personal life and what that really looks like. But boy, it has gone quick in 18 years, huh?
It has gone very quick, right before our eyes. But I will tell you the days leading up to him leaving from the minute he graduated high school to now, which has been, he graduated May 24th, I think.
Yeah.
So these last few months, we can see the progression of ready to go. He's ready to go. And the other cool part of that is it is also prepared us too, but is watching him preparing and making his decisions. And this is when you start to see what you've taught your kid and what they've taken to heart, basically. Yeah. So you watch your kid, he either does things that you taught him to do or he does the opposite. In our case, so far today, he's actually doing things that he learned from us or watched us doing, or, he's making decisions that he's making good choices and good decisions. And so it's really fun watching this transition, if you will, in the last couple months.
Yep. Yeah. And it's been, it's a whole year for listeners that other kiddos go to school. You go to college, it's or university, depends where you are in the world. It's like a whole year's transition, but the last few months have been monumental. There's so much documentation and, all the applications, and then you got to stay on track with the timing and stuff. And that's part of the test too. They're like, if you can manage this, then like, okay, you can manage your schedule. But it's really neat to see that transition and watching the kids become independent and everything that we've learned and that from him, and then what we've taught him about how to be a young man in today's world and give him the guardrails of what to do and what not to do, but also give him the grace to fail and fail forward, which is really important. And that's kind of one of the leadership skills that we've always, really looked at and we're really have done ourselves. We failed multiple times, but you fail forward and you learn from that and you get better and you fine tune the process, or you fine tune the business, or fine tune the relationships, anything like that, and really making sure that you know how to do that. And it'd be exciting for him to fail multiple times between now and Thanksgiving, because it's like the first big chunk, right? Just get to Thanksgiving, get to November.
Well, and it's fun to watch him take on leadership isms, I guess.
Isms.
He's learned from us, watching us build a business, and with him being involved in band, and having leaders around him, being involved in 4-H, being around and knowing how to correspond with adults and that type of thing. It is seeing him through all this and watching him become a young man and be a young man in front of us. And it's like, wow, it feels like it's overnight it happens. But this is what you do, and then you say, okay, it looks like I've equipped you with what you need. And now it's time for you to go out and make mistakes. Because you will make mistakes. He will make mistakes. We all made mistakes, but that's how you learn. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. He's very organized like me. So he has his lists. He has his reminders of this and that. And I need this, whatever, for his dorm room. And he's very good at it. So he's now it just feels like it's a waiting game because we've kind of got everything done. But It's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting. So
you have to pack, though. I keep telling them you got to pack.
there's piles. There's a few piles, and yes, it needs to get all together, and then it needs to get in the car. So
and watching him make his own decisions, you think about leadership in business and in life, right? I think about how we equipped our team to be able to make decisions. You give them the tools, and you give them the knowledge, you give them the guardrails. Yes, we don't have to rely on the SOPs and all those massive manuals that we're all told to do. We found you hire the right people, they already come equipped knowing the guidelines. When you hire the wrong people, that's when you need all the policies and all the different SOPs and all of this. Now, some people will probably disagree with me, but we've seen both sides of that. And you get the right people there, and then you're able to say, okay, here's the guardrail. This is what you do. Go do it. And then off they go. And it's just such a better, pleasant environment when you get the right people in. Because I think we've had the wrong people, but you want the people that can make their own decisions and doesn't need to go looking for mom and dad, right? Look for Rob and Don on every little thing and make sure that they can make the decisions and empower the people to do that. For example, empower people to send gifts if there's a wedding or there's a birth or there's a death in a family of a client. Empower your team to say, take care of them, nurture them, love on them, and then make sure that they're set. A lot of leaders don't relinquish that control. You have to let go to grow and be able to build yourself and build a business, which is really key and important.
Which is in line with when we went to orientation, is the professor saying you need to let your kid do their thing. And if they call home and want to come home, you say, no, you need to stay. And this is why. And, you give them the tools, you have that conversation with them. That's going to be hard. You're going to fail a test probably.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make a decision. Do you drop a class? But if you prepare your kid and they know what to do and who to go to, and these colleges nowadays they have so many resources. It's amazing actually, but it's kind of funny. We were sitting in a big room with hundreds of parents because they split the parents up and the kids up in these orientation sessions, if you will. And the funny part about it is I was like, I feel like it's kindergarten. Remember the don't cry. What was it? The
boohoo breakfast or something like that. I think
it was to get you prepared for watching for your kid to go to kinder. And I was like, it seemed like the same thing, but obviously years later, was that 15 years later? 13 years later. But that's what I felt like. So it's like, okay, now we're at another season. So it is just another season, such as business. Business runs into its seasons as well. You have busy seasons. You have seasons of, oh goodness, nothing's coming in. You have seasons of kind of retooling, all different seasons. And I think that's what college is too. You'll different seasons he'll run into of different things. I want to do this. Oh, I thought I wanted to do this. Maybe I don't want to do this, or whatever. But again, it's all about empowering them with the right tools. And again, it's whether it's your child or it's your team, that is really the key, is just empowering them.
Yep. And listening, but also trusting in how you raise the kiddo, right? Or trusting how you've guided the team. And I think that's where that real leadership connection really is, we've talked about the mistakes, but the roles are going to change from, really saying you could do this or that to saying, you know what, you go do that and see what happens. Go out into the world, go do that, drive yourself to school, park your car there, take care of that. You need to go run an errand, and you have your schedule, and you're responsible to be in class and band, which is helpful because it's very structured. It has to be just like a sport, music, sport, arts, any of that is very structured. And I think that's really helped a lot. But it's really about, leadership really isn't about making every decision. I think it's really about guiding the team towards the top of that mountain where they know the right decision. They know what to do and how to get there, and the decisions they need to make. It's not everything coming, across our desk. It's really about making sure that we have built independence for them. and that they feel independent, they can go do what they need to do and empower, like you said. Yep.
And let them make mistakes. We're all human. Even bots make mistakes, honestly.
No,
We're talking about
they
AI
are
bots.
all correct.
Yeah, no,
Ish.
they do.
They have
But
disclaimers.
let them make mistakes. I believe that we learn the most when we've failed or made a mistake. That's where the learning comes in, and we have to have those happen. So, but again, you can empower your people, your child with, okay, you're going to make mistakes, but if you do, it's how you really react. How are you going to react to it? What solutions do you have? Ask, we always ask our team, okay, if this isn't working, what's your solution? Come back with some solutions.
Don't bring a
we don't want to
problem, bring me a solution.
Yeah. We don't want to fix things for people unless we know maybe there's a fix, oh wait, this is the fix. Unless we know for sure it's like this widget fixes this or whatever. But honestly, you want even your kid, what's your solution? What do you think you should do? Empowering them, again, help, you don't make the decision for them. You don't make their bed for them. You don't do your laundry for them. They need to do it and figure it out. So it's not the way you do it. That's okay. Let them figure out their way within the guardrails. Obviously, there's certain things you have to have to do a certain way. Laundry can be done many different ways, but you have to wash the laundry before you dry the laundry. So yes, you have to tell them.
That doesn't work the other way.
Yeah.
And there's that difference between, being available and being in control.
Yes.
You don't need to control everything. You just need to be available.
Yeah.
And so examples of that is like we meet every Monday and the team goes through the top 3, items that go through their rocks for the week and make sure everybody's dialed in, and we meet and team meetings are great. I like them Monday mornings, 10 a.m. and off we go. And we know what we're working on the week. And as we go through the week, there's Slack, there's huddles, there's quick conversations to make sure everybody's on track. But when you have that cadence and you know what's expected on the first of the week, that's really, to me, it's about being available. Being available for that hour and a half every week, knowing that everything is exactly where it needs to be and everybody's doing exactly what they need to do, and letting people make those mistakes without that judgment piece. I always try to, it's hard. I think as humans, really want to always blame the person. Well, what you and I have learned is let's blame the process or the problem first, right? Is there a process issue? Is there an information issue? And then it's like, oh, okay. If it happens repeatedly, then yes, it could be an HR related issue, but we need to first take a look at the process or the problem and try to resolve that and dive in. Yeah.
And Rob, what's the compliance parallel to this kind of in talking
compliance
about
parallel?
Yes, I know.
Look at you.
I know.
Well, you can't just throw the old compliance officer behind every employee, right? You need to educate your team. You need, from a compliance perspective, be it HIPAA compliance, or maybe it's SOC, or it's ISO, it's high trust, it's anything, GDPR, any of those platforms, any of those environments, any of those structures, you need to make sure that people can make the right decision, because employees make hundreds of decisions a day. But they make sure when you make that decision, are you sending that decision through a compliance framework? Are you sending it with that compliance security at the forefront of your mind? And because it's important to ensure that the decision you make, be it maybe it's a technical decision, maybe it's an HR decision, or whatever it is, that, I'm going to make this and I already have my compliance hat on. But if I don't have all the details, I know to go to the compliance officer or to that CISO on board or to Van Ryn right here. We do a lot of consulting from not just the auditing, but just giving guidance on technology and what they need to do. So that's kind of that parallels, because really the policies and training, that's not enough. I think we know that. It's just, you can write down the speed limit, but not everybody's going to follow it.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Yep. Or my favorite one is doing the right thing is, are you going to put the grocery cart back in the grocery cart bin, or are you just going to leave it out there on the curb for the little kids to come out and get because you're too lazy and you think it's not your job?
Yep.
That drives me crazy.
Make good decisions when nobody is watching.
There you go.
And that is actually one of our interview questions. And that's what we've taught our son. And if you're on the Van Ryn team, if you don't put the buggy back, you're not going to be on the Van Ryn team.
Yeah.
It tells so much about the character of the person that you're interviewing. So I would say is that compliance parallel leadership takeaway is like, hey, in your next interviews, say, what do you do with the grocery cart when you're done? Tell me, where does it
Or
go?
if they're, would you pick up that piece of trash?
Yeah, simple. Have some integrity and take that extra step, because if you're going to do that in your personal life, then you're definitely doing your professional life.
And this too, talking about compliance, policies and training aren't enough. Someone can read policies, someone could read a book about this or that. Someone could take a training module, but are they implementing it? Are they doing it? So, that's the thing too, is what if you tell your kid 12 times a day to do something, he never does it? Well, you probably should maybe change the way you're telling him. And, maybe the task isn't the right task for him, kind of like an employee. So, it's really just having those conversations and really just, this is what I need. This is what I need you to do. Here's the tools. And you'll really find out if they, can or can't do it. And if they're like struggling, say, well, hey, what's the solution then? If you're not going to do it this way that I, had asked you to do, or the way in the manual, right? Then what's the solution? How are we going to get it done? And that's a fun thing too about a team. And we have a small team, so we can do this a little bit more easily than, a team of 1,000. But just like, hey, well, you guys have any ideas? How do you think you should do it? What do you think is the best choice, the best solution, the best decision? And we also do the same with Ethan. It's like, what do you think you should do? What do you think?
What direction you going to go?
Yeah. And give them a voice, so you can have that conversation.
Yeah, because whatever decision he makes, or even our team makes, they know that we're here for guidance, but they also know to come to us with a solution. Don't just come to the problem, bring a solution. If we need to re-engineer the solution, that's fine. We can do that, but you need to put some kind of skin in the game, right? Put some structure in the game and go, okay, I need to come up with a solution for a call mom or dad, or before I go to Rob and Dawn from a business perspective, because they need to know that we're here, but we're not going to fix all the problems. That's why we hired you. Or that's why we have given you, our kiddo. We've prepared him for the road, not just prepared the road for him. I think a lot of parents are still what were they, helicopter parents, or there's some new term now.
Yeah, there was a new term we heard the other day. I can't remember.
I don't really know. Obviously, it wasn't us. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's not about preparing the road that he goes on, preparing the road even for employees. It's about how we prepare him or prepare the employees for the road, right? Do they have the tools in the tool belt? Are you given everything you need? And if not, you know where to go, and teaching those boundaries and coaching them, and then trusting them to go, you know what, go off, do your thing, enjoy life, get some pizza at 2 a.m. So you feel like in the morning.
And go meet some people.
Yeah.
Meet a bunch of different kinds of people.
Go meet people.
Have discussions on what they think. Why do they think the way they think? Be around some different people, different mindsets, from different places, learn from them or don't learn from them, depends on what it is. And just really just see what's out there, With Ethan, he can always call mom and dad, and with your staff, they can always ask you as a leader, as a manager, as a supervisor. But again, we need to make sure that we are empowering them, kids and employees, to come up with a solution. What do you think we should do? And have a discussion and let them figure it out. And don't always do things for them.
Yeah, that's definitely it. And most importantly, right? What's he going to do? Call your mother. Make sure he calls every week.
Yeah.
That's a given.
I won't text too much. I won't do it. I won't be that mom.
No.
So.
No.
They tell you too that they say, set an expectation of, what do you think your grade should be your first semester? And then, ask them that. And then how often do you think that you should be contacting your kid? Like set that expectation with them. Just, hey, should we check in every Sunday? Hey, should we, what's an acceptable grade, and, ask them what they think. Oh, I have B pluses or whatever it is, and just so everyone is on the same page and kind of knows. So, anyway, it was very good pointers. Like I said, I felt like I was, sending my kid off to kindergarten again, but we're just a little bit older than that.
Just
But
a little older.
it's just funny, but it has so many parallels. Being
It
a
does.
parent, being a leader, and managing staff. So many parallels to it. It's really funny. So this was a very that's why we decided to talk about this, because it just was very good timing. It just kind of relates this week. So as we prepare. So
Yep, as we prepare. Yeah. And with that, we just thank everybody for joining us this week. Just kind of wanted to pull back the curtain on the old Van Ryn world here and talk about the parallels of sending our kid off to college and leadership. So I thank you guys for joining us, and I hope to join you next week. Until then, bye-bye.
bye-bye.